I wait for you to sit. Have a seat.
Should I cross my legs?
No.
We gotta be least sophisticated and whatnot.
Got to be, man. Gotta be. But welcome to QFM Podcast. We got your main man Gift, and we got
Kenny J. What's good?
Thank you guys for listening and subscribing to our YouTube and also following us on Instagram. We're doing a little bit of a solo podcast, not having a special guest, and kind of like really yet. Exactly. So they're popping.
Come in the future. You know?
Right. They're popping up. But we kind of really wanted to get more into, what have we been into? Just because life just keeps going and going. And
Life-y.
Right. So, KJ,
yeah.
What's going on with you, man?
Well, I think the last time we officially sat down one-on-one was our loneliness video, which was a few months ago. But prior to that, our first official one that we did was October of 2024. So obviously a lot's changed. When we did that video, we were talking about how we just graduated from college and we're kind of coming into our careers and stuff. Mm-hmm. So for me, it was when I first started on that video, I was working in insurance banking, mm-hmm. and fast forward a year or two later, I'm now in the tech industry, and it's a complete 180. Before I would go into suits and work in corporate America, and this, that, and the third, and I still do to this day, but it's more relaxed, and it's a different realm space that I'm getting into. I feel like it's definitely a lot of earning potential there, and even now I just ended up starting at a new office that I'm at, and it's just honestly up from here, really. But that's kind of me. It's a little fast forward for me. But what about you?
Yeah, man. And to kind of go back with you, how was that transition? Because you was in insurance before, now you went to tech sales, right?
Yeah.
So how? Because, you was doing pretty good in insurance. What made you want to do that change?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it was one of my coworkers that I used to work with at my insurance office. We linked up and got food exactly almost the last year. So this was May of 2025. I sat down with him, and we used to work together 2 years prior to that. So he actually ended up getting in the tech industry, and now he's an account executive there. He's making pretty good money. And I think his selling point for me was he was doing less work for more money. Mm. Obviously, it's still tedious work that you got to do, make sure that you are still doing the stuff to be successful and maintain your job. But I think around that point, I was kind of burned out from the insurance world. I was in it for about 4 or 5 years. You're dealing with underwriting, you're dealing with claims, clients, obviously writing quotes, people calling in about their insurance, and it's just a lot. Plus, there's also a point in time when you're in the industry where you're going to see a lot of situations where you're put in situations where it's not necessarily your fault, mm-hmm. but from a business and your professional standpoint, you have to take the fall in order to do something later on in the future. And that's either maintaining your job or ranking up and maybe getting into management or even starting your own agency. There's going to be times, especially from the customer service standpoint, where you genuinely feel in your heart and logically it wasn't your fault, but you still got to take the fall for it because that's part of the stuff that you signed up for.
Right.
So yeah, all of that kind of combined into one that just made me want to look in elsewhere to another industry. And one thing I do like about tech is that it's constantly changing. It's mm-hmm. Advancing, adapting into new and more and better levels. We're in the AI space right now, and that's one thing I do like about it. And it's if it's not going to go anywhere. It's the same thing as insurance, where by law you have to have this product in order to, like be part of life.
Right, right.
And with tech, it's like, okay, this industry is here and it's never going away. In fact, it's just getting more and more advanced.
Right.
So
right.
that's something I was intrigued and curious to know more about. So I ended up hiring a recruiter. I kind of like sat down with her and she gave me like the ins and outs of like what recruiters are looking for, what they want to do in getting into the tech space. And then that's how I got connected with the original company that I was at. And just with like networking, connections, going to different events and meeting new people. One thing I realized is that this tech industry it has a small community.
Yeah.
And not many people are in this space. And not because it's like, I'll take it back. It's a really hard space to get into. But like once you're in there, you're in there.
Right.
Because like
right.
once you know the right people, they can point you into the right position, they'll put you in the right space, and then somebody like at least knows someone in that
Right.
world. So yeah, that's kind of like my spiel of like how I got in there.
Yeah, man. And when you were telling me about it, I was like, man, I think that could be really uncomfortable when you were doing good in a certain area. You could have peaked, right? You reached your peak, you reached your ceiling. Now you got to kind of start over again.
Yeah.
You are getting less pay, but some people, when they are making a change, you want to at least look at some type of financial benefit.
Right.
So it's like with that end, it was more of financial harm, but the growth that you could get from, just kind of like through the long run, it's definitely something good to think about.
It was definitely a risk because, like you said, I did take a pay cut. I was making good money in the insurance world, but I had to look at it from a longevity standpoint.
Right.
Because the insurance industry, you're at like a capped level to where most people are working under an agent. So it's not like the corporation, like State Farm or Progressive, maybe Geico. It's usually like Giffy Messiah's Geico insurance company.
Right.
So you're the one that's like owning the actual office, and it's almost like a pay structure where like it's gonna go through 4 different layers before you actually get a feel of your money. Your take home.
Right.
Because obviously you got like the corporate actual office. Then you go through taxes, and then it goes through the agent, and then whatever the agent decides to give you out commissions or salary wise is based on them, and then that's when you actually get your money.
Right.
With tech, it's like okay, you got the corporation, then the CEO, and then it's to you because it's like more of a giant industry where a lot of people have the money for it, and all these things like software development, AI. It kind of comes into play financially to where your salary is put in for that. So there's more earning potential for that. And yes, you're starting at a low salary, but if you work hard and work your way up, then you're bound to make good money. Hence, it's to the position that I am now.
Yeah, and like to be honest with you, I think a lot of people, just based on what I do, is similar. I'm not gonna say it's very alike, but it's similar.
Yeah.
But people are like, man, you need to go into tech sales. I'm like, bro, I'm not doing that. I'm
Yeah.
not. That's not, just based on what I heard is like you gotta reach a certain quota. Then if you don't, then it's like it's heavily encouraged for you to go over your quota. And if not, you have a fucked up day. Like you have a bad day. Like I hung around with y'all. Like it's bro, it's like man, I'm like, yo, like it's crazy.
Right. And the one thing that is great is that like you have a base and then plus a uncapped commission.
Which is good too.
Yeah.
Which is good.
So sure, like obviously the base is there to where like let's say you have a bad month, at least you're falling down with something. But one thing I do like about it is that like the money that you can earn is limitless.
Right.
So
right.
I probably didn't like just only take my base probably like my first 2 months into the industry.
Right.
So like I wasn't even like thinking of the base. Like obviously it's gonna be there, but the potential that I can make, I was more focused on that.
Right, right.
And then I think that's the mindset that you kind of have to like go into it to where, okay, I got this base, cool, but like I can earn like 60, maybe 70,
Right, right.
so on and so forth. And then working hard, maybe a year or two, I can go into management or go into like some form of leadership.
Right,
And
right.
it's like, it's easier for you to like grow and get better in this industry versus like the insurance world where you're an independent contractor and there's more potential for you to earn more in that space. But if you're like working under an agent, then you can only earn so much because it's more contingent on like the office itself making money, like the actual agent.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you. Dang. That's a lot of money moving around.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Dang.
It's almost kind of like the music industry because, first you have like the corporation, like Universal or I don't know, these like giant ones, Rockefeller, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it goes through like the industry and then you have like management or like the CEO, the management, and then like all your taxes and promotion tours and stuff. It gets taxed out of that. And then by the time all that's taken care of, you're left with, X amount of money.
Right.
That's kind of how like the insurance industry is almost like.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think, and that's good that like you really did that for sure. Like you really said, you know what, I'm going to do it. And then people kind of ignored it because people are, whatever change that they have, they're looking for a financial gain. So it's like, well, if I got to go to a different state or if I got to go to a different company to where I might have to move, at least I'm getting paid for it, right?
Yeah.
But if you're not getting paid for it, is it really worth that value to make that transition? But
Yeah.
luckily enough for you, you took that risk and you got a better reward.
Yeah.
So I think what it's been a lot, especially for me and you as well, work, life. But to kind of talk about work, I work in property management, and in that end, that's a growing industry because, there's so many more apartments being built, especially in downtown Raleigh.
Yeah.
So as a result, it's so saturated, but as well as there's more job security, right? So you get a lot more people. So this is an industry that I wanted to stay, but am I going to grow? That was the biggest issue. So it's like, I'm getting money. I can get money, but am I growing? Am I getting this particular promotion? Or am I really learning everything I need to learn in property management, right? So I got hired back in like 2023. It was 2 days after, it was 2023. No. Yeah, 2023 of July 6th. Right.
So this is like right after you graduated.
It was a couple months after I graduated. Well, technically, I graduated. I didn't graduate until December.
Oh, okay.
So in that end, just working in property management is a very hard industry, right? Because you have all these different people all in one cusp of what you call a home, but these are all different apartments, right? And so you're dealing with all these different types of people, different types of emotions, families, business people. So you really got to communicate to them in a way that they're communicated, the way that they understand. So you got to kind of like advertise to these people, and as a result, it can become very draining after a while.
Yeah.
So I worked in a property that had my first time being in there that had 472 units. Yeah. That's a lot of units, right? So it's garden style, so it's not just one building, it's multiple buildings of each units, right? Yeah. And it was tough, but I was a little bit naive, and plus I had a great team, right? To where there's enough energy to kind of disperse, so that way you're not taking most of the blunt, right?
Right.
So if things happen, I had an assistant manager, I had a property manager, I had 2 other leases, right? And then maintenance, right? So I had a great team in that end, but then after a while, and sometimes this what happens to where like, when a company takes over, right? Now they're firing people. Now they're getting rid of people.
Like a new company.
A new
coming
company,
in.
but the problem with the company was they were managing it. They didn't own it, right?
Okay.
So if you were working on a property, or not even that, if you are looking for an apartment, ask that question, hey, do they own or do they manage? Because if there's certain repairs that they have to do, you're not going to one company, you're going to two, basically.
Yeah.
So now that company's like, well, I think you should wait. But the owner's like, we should repair it now. So it takes double the time that it should have taken if you just talk to one person, right? So that was my experience when there was issues going on and the issues never got fixed. And I was like, yo, I need to get out of here, right? So I was there for like 8 months. So that was like 2024, right? And then one of my friends, one of my coworkers, she ended up leaving, and she was like, hey, you know, I got a position open up for you. And I'm like, okay, sure, let me see, right? And it was a small company, not really reputable because it's small and it's growing. That's a good thing. So I was like, yeah, let me do it. And I had to get out of here because at that time, now that property that I was just working at is not good. It's still, it's cool, but it's still messing up, right?
Yeah.
Still the same people, right? So I was really lucky to dodge that obstacle, right? But then there was a new obstacle, right? Different office, right? Instead of 400 units, it's 199, and I'm multi-site. So I work in 2 properties, and it can be a lot as well, just because you're in downtown Raleigh, which is great, but also, there's just a lot of different things that comes into play when you're being by yourself. Just imagine it being the only leasing agent doing 2 properties, right? And not having enough power just in case if a manager's not there or whatever like that. Now they're looking at me because they see me every day, right? They're looking at me and I don't know. There's a lot of times where I'm like, I don't know, because I was still not even a year into property management, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, dang, okay. And I got that job in April 2024. April 24 of 2024. And I'm like, yo, I'm not sure. This is crazy burnout, because they're asking me questions that I don't know, right? Or they're looking at renter's insurance. You got to make sure renter's insurance comes into play and things like that. And I was getting people, right? I was getting people to apply, but did I know about renewals? Did I know about sending renewals, right? Did I know about delinquency, people paying the rent or not, right? So there's just a lot of different things that come into play when it becomes a property management that a lot of people don't really know. Right?
Do you think that at a certain point they would expect you to know it? Like you physically go in there and read up on it?
Yeah, I had to really do my research or ask a whole bunch of people, right? And they're like, why do you need to know this? And I'm like, because these people are coming up to me. I don't know.
Right,
and,
right.
And at that time there wasn't enough managerial presence, right? And so then I had a manager that, she ended up being let go. And I was like, fuck, what are we going to do here? Right? Because now people are coming up to me now more than ever. But all throughout these months, I honed, I learned, I figured out everything. I can answer every question. And then people are like, why are you not ACM yet? Assistant Community Manager. I said, well, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know.
So
why.
you was pretty much doing.
I was pretty much doing the work of an ACM, but they wasn't giving me the title of an ACM. And I'm like, you might as well do that, because there's countersigns that need to be done, right? Meaning, if you sign a lease, we have to countersign it to make it solidified. That's every contract, right?
What do you mean? What's that?
So if you've done this with insurance, someone signs it. They sign the document. Don't they sign the document?
Yeah, they sign it.
And then you sign the document right back, right?
Yeah, it depends. So if it's life insurance, then that we have to do. But if it's like an auto or maybe like a renter's policy,
probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
But either way, so whenever you sign a lease, there's someone that you sign it, you look over it. then the manager countersigns it. So it's that's for any contract, any business contract. There has to be the person there has to be two different parties that is signing the contract for it to be solidified. Yeah. So I'm like, if this person is not really here, and they were like, yeah, Gift, like you were there. Like all the other people, like you're fucking there. Like, and I'm pretty modest, and I'm like, but I'm like, no, I deserve that fucking position. And if not, I'm gonna go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And that was my mindset. Let me get as much experience as I can, and then see what I can do with it, right?
Yeah.
And then this new manager comes into play, and she not fucking playing. I said, ooh, okay. I'm like, she put me in check. I'm like, I do not want to be on this girl's bad side.
Yeah.
But she getting shit done, right? Yeah. So in the midst of that, in the midst of it, and this is everything I was looking for. In the midst of it, I was like, look, I don't even care if there was another ACM. We just need it for the residents, because if you're not here and then I'm the only, you need a lot more power so things can be done.
Yeah.
But that was the point. Things weren't really being done. And the people were like, what's going on? And these people are needy. No offense. These people are really needy, right? I was working at a property to where I had to be the therapist for 30 minutes and that's it. But now these people need you on a constant basis.
Yeah.
So you have to really be on your P's and Q's and also not waste your time, right? And I'm like, look, I'm here to help you, but what's going on here? And I couldn't really stand my ground because they're not respecting the title.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, talk to her. That's none of my business. I already told you what it was. But if you need to talk to her, that's fine.
So they would rather still talk to like the actual manager.
Yeah. And that was always what it was. Okay. And so then at one point, this manager is like, you want to get your CALP, which is their Certified Apartment Leasing Professional Certificate. This certificate it's a class where it really teaches you about leasing, the rules, the qualifications. And mind you, I learned through experience, but I didn't learn through knowledge through a class. So I had to do that class. And in the midst of that, I got my promotion. So I could tell it was kind of coming up because we had other floater. She ended up leaving because of health reasons. And there was more of a gap of money to be spread around, obviously. So she did the Paulie thing from Sopranos. She was like, look nice. Just look nice. We going to have a talk tomorrow. Just look nice. I'm like, all right, I don't know. But it's been too many, because like I really wanted this role and they wasn't going to give me that role. And with this role comes with better pay, more money to spread around with bonuses. And then as well as, what is it? A better discount for your rent. Yeah. So that was really what I was going for, right? So if I'm already doing all of the stuff that ACM would do, but just I know, right?
Yeah.
But by the time they offered it, I already was grounded already on basic all the things that an ACM would be, but now they're giving me the title. Yeah. So all of the residents like, yo, Gifted really needs it. Even if the residents are saying that shit, that's a big thing. And that's, every, like...
It's the credibility.
Right, right. Credibility. So when they did that, and I knew a lot of people was very happy for me that happened. And then I got my CALP. And all within a 2-week span. Oh, wow. So, me, I was like, look, I can't go to this podcast, man. I got to really study the whole week. Right? And then when I got my certificate, I was like, let's go. Then I got promoted, let's go. Yeah. We're all within that span. And then another good news.
Did you need the certificate in order to get the promotion?
No, I got the promotion before I got the certificate.
Oh, okay.
So, but it was an either or. I was like, okay, because they didn't know that the promotion was going to happen.
It just makes you look better if you have the certificate.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and I know I'm going on a tangent here, but I was like, yeah, like, I'm going to take that road. Let's go. And that way I could be more honed into property management and make it solidify, because I don't want to be in leasing for 3 years and not getting anything out of it, right? I don't want to do that, because I've seen so many to where they do it for 5 years and just doing it. And some people like it because of how much pay, and you're on hourly, you're not stuck on salary.
Yeah.
So many people like it. But to kind of close in on that, that, you know, overall, and the good news is that we were ranked and we were part of the 1 percentile of the whole entire country of being one of the greatest properties.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think it's like easier to manage the smaller campus buildings? Because you said your old one had 400, right?
Mm-hmm.
So since this one has 199?
100, not 200. Let's just say 200.
Okay, yeah. Let's say it's, so since this one has like, you know, half of the old properties you used to manage, do you think it's easier to, you know, manage this one? Or is it just like a different ball game altogether?
So it's really a different ball game, just because it comes with, depending on where it is, you know, and this is what I learned, resident profile. Your resident profile is going to be the biggest determinant on how your overall experience is. Because I would say, even though it was 472, like, you know, if they're late on rent, like, they're not gonna really care about that. I'm like, bet I'm gonna pay it, or they're gonna talk about it, and that will be it, right?
Yeah.
But here, people are gonna do their research. People are gonna go. They know certain tricks and things like that about it. So as a result, you have to be on your game. So there's some people too where they're like, you can't. You know, I can't even. You know, there's a lot of things that I couldn't say, because they're gonna be on top of your game, or you could be trying to be a good person and then take advantage of that. So that's another thing, because that goes against policy. So I have to really be careful. So what I think that another reason was that I got my promotion was because of how honest I was with my work.
Yeah.
And I'm very humble, but I say this unhumblingly. I deserve that 100%, and that's because
you do. Definitely.
Right. But some people are like, but I was like, no,
nah, fuck that. You do.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and that was because of how much stuff I had to go through.
Yeah.
To really get that, I told you, like, yo, this is crazy, and within that, I honed my skills, and to this day, I'm still learning.
Yeah.
So that was the thing, and I'm more professional, and now it's now I really get to see the overall in and out process of a resident.
Yeah.
They come from, it's like raising a kid. You know, they're a baby, now they're growing up to be an adult, and now they're getting their house, right? So you get to really experience all of that, right? So.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Kenny J. I'm one half of the QFM Podcast. If you made it this far to the video, I just wanted to say welcome. While you're here, you might as well go ahead and hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and then on top of that, just go ahead and share it to a friend, family member, like grandmother or whatever. We want to get this channel to grow, and, you know, we have goals. So if you want to go ahead and support us with the channel, you might as well just help us out. It'll definitely go a long way. All right, y'all. Now back to the video.
So overall, it's still a great experience, but as long as you got a great team, the experience is never going to be regrettable.
Right,
so,
right. Question: do you think, have you ever like experienced imposter syndrome?
What do you mean? But I've heard of it, but describe it.
So it's pretty much like you are telling yourself that like, oh, like why me? Like why do I deserve this stuff? Or it's a weird position to be in, because most people experience it when like good things are going their way. So they're always so used to like life kicking them down and choosing whether or not to get back up. But then once good things are finally starting to happen to them, then it's like, wow, like, do I deserve this? Like, what happened? Like, why me? Like, out of all the people that this could have happened to, it chose me.
Well, I would say I didn't experience it with the promotion.
Yeah.
Because believe it or not, I'm like, I deserve that shit. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like I think that for me, the imposter situation came when people were, because like the biggest thing now is been a lot of policy changes and how many people are leaving, right? And I think the imposter syndrome comes in when people are leaving, and I'm like, how come why me? Why do I get to stay? right? But
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing about reassuring not just me, but just not just myself, but people who are going through out there, you deserve it, bro. When
Yeah.
you are not like when you do things the right way, and not the right way as in you're following policy, but when you're honest with people and you're respecting, like I said, play your position. When you're respecting, your managers, good managers that look out for you. When you're respecting your team and you look out for them, that's all that matters.
Mm.
That imposter syndrome is going to go away when you're not those envious people,
Yeah.
right? And it's like, yo, like, get it where you're valued, but at the same time, it's like, yo, you gotta, because some people they try to come and they try to be like, this is just work. Yeah, it's just work. But for me, I'm gonna look after you how I'll look after anybody. And so, mind you, and let's just say if I didn't have that mindset of being genuine, right?
Yeah.
You're dealing with somebody for their lease term. So you're not just, it's not like, damn, I like this burger from McDonald's, I'm never going to them again.
Yeah.
Right? That's a one experience. But when you tour somebody and you don't give them the best experience and they still get the apartment, they still are not gonna like the experience. It just gave them a bad taste in their mouth. So for you to go and still try to be all scammy or whatever, and it sucks because, and thank you for saying that, it sucks because it's like you're being, and then the property management, they put you in positions to where you make people look at, you make the leaser look at the residents or the applicants as a number.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's just like, and I remember I was doing my calc class and they looked at reviews, right? They looked at like how an applicant or how someone that's touring for an apartment feels like, right? And they have all these different things, all these different dumb reasons, right? And they're like, well, the person said, I'm just doing my job because they're following up with them. I have to follow up with you, right?
Yeah.
After the tour, I have to follow up with you. But there was this one person that said, dang, it made me feel like they just needed a sale. And I'm like, well, they don't really need it, but when you're judged based off of a number, yes, they're going to need that sale. Am I that type of person? Do I let it stress me? No. But I can see how they need those numbers because you're judged off of occupancy. That's a number. You're judged based off of how many tours you have, your closing ratio. Those are fucking numbers. Yeah. When you're judged based off of a fucking secret shopper that they don't even know what you're going through on a daily basis and they give you a dumb fucking number. That gets me so mad. I hate secret shoppers. I'm sorry. I don't like them because Acquire. They're not Acquire anymore. They did that to me one time.
Wait, what happened? They're not Acquire?
They're not Acquire anymore. Like they're not the company name anymore.
Oh.
They changed. They changed name.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
They changed their name. But overall, I have PTSD with secret shoppers.
Yeah.
Because of that, right? Because they don't know what you're going through in that end, and you're judged based off of a number, right? And so it kind of sucks because it's like. Now, I'm not looking at it as like leasing agent. Yeah, you want to come in again? No, I'm like, I got to advertise an apartment and then 5 minutes later, I got to have a serious conversation on why we can't negotiate their price. So you're judged based off of a number, right? And that was kind of, I'm not going to say the imposter syndrome, but that's kind of the things to where I have to constantly change my personality. And it's kind of like, when do I put my serious face versus when do I put my play face? When do I put, woohoo, yes sir, come on, right? Yeah. So it's hard. It can be very difficult, right? And so that's kind of the strain is still, because there's only 2 people in the office. There's property manager and then assistant community manager, right? And I think that I can definitely get things done, but it's more on, sometimes I could really go through the day and really try to figure out all these different things. But also, you got home, you got life, you got all these different things that you got to do all in one time. So I think that's kind of like how I'm doing with work overall. Life with you, man, you doing good overall? That was a lot. That was a lot. I need a shot of tequila or something, but that was a lot. That was a lot. That was definitely a
Yeah,
lot.
no. Yeah, I mean, life is pretty good right now. As I'm transitioning to different offices, I'm able to like take a nice break and reset before my start date. So it's been good, really. I realized that I haven't been like taking care of myself physically and mentally.
Right.
And I didn't really realize that until like I actually left my my other office. Good terms, by the way. I put in my letter of resignation, and I'm on good standing with them. But yeah, don't have a problem with them. Great company. It was just like the role itself was just kind of getting draining. So once I left,
I could tell.
Yeah, and then once I left, it was like I didn't realize how bad it was until like you're actually out of it. Because when you're in the mix of it, it's like, oh, okay, everything's good. I mean, like it's bad, but you don't understand the magnitude of how bad it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So once I got out, I mean, one thing I do like doing is meditating. I like going to the gym, going for runs. It's therapeutic because it helps like clear my head and keeps me grounded. And then once I got back into my routine, like doing stuff, like I feel better. I feel healthy. I feel lighter. Because sometimes you get like caught up in the mix, like, okay, you got to go to work, and then you got to do stuff for your podcast or do like extra things outside of work that you're doing, and sure, it's like a lot to handle all at the same time. Sometimes we have like families or kids that we have to like take care of, and then but once one of those heavy things are like off your chest for just a brief moment, you can just reset.
You have like, a heavy like it was heavy for you?
Not necessarily heavy, but you don't realize like how much you're not taking care of yourself mentally and physically.
Right.
When you're not doing that and you don't realize it, you start to notice like, oh dang, that's something I don't usually do. Like sometimes a couple months prior to it, I would have like either anxiety or like panic attacks in the middle of the night, and I don't know why, but sometimes when I just have to relax and clear my head, that's when I actually start to just like mellow out and relax. It's almost like having your phone on or your computer for such a long time, and you wonder like why it's like overheating or why is it doing all this like extra stuff and being slow. You realize that all it needs to do is just reset it. You just need to reset it, and once you reset it and log back in, it's completely fine. So that's all you need. All you need is just like a quick day or like just a moment to just sit down, relax, and reset. And then, but now that I have like a nice little break before like I start my new position, it's pretty good. Like,
do you think
life
you'd
is
be
good right
less
now. I can't complain.
stressed? Do you think you'd be less stressed with the new position than the position?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Because it's like it's less strains. It's like less turnover. It's less like obviously the company still has to meet the numbers and it's a business regardless. But it's not whereas like okay, if you're doing bad, then we're just going to let you go. Like
right.
I've met the team. I've been on campus. It's a pretty amazing campus. And even talking to people that's been there for years, they're like, yeah, I've never seen people be on a performance incentivized plan for years.
And I never even
the way that he
explained
it, the way that he explained it is like you actually have to work to be on a PIP. So I was like, wow, interesting. Because that's pretty much just saying like, yeah, you genuinely have to work to be a screw up. Like
wow,
I would physically have to like take drugs or like I had to do damaging stuff to my body in order for me to not feel good. That's how I took the information. And I was like, wow. Like I put it in perspective. I was like, dang. The other company was like, it was pretty bad over there then.
Yeah, because based off, man. Based on what you told me about that, I was like,
yeah. And that's the one thing about those like high turnover companies, like, you know, at the end of the day, it's still of a business, but, you know, I've seen a lot of people come and go in that industry and, well, at that company specifically. And they do work with you, but I just think that like some people who genuinely want to be there and you're letting them go, it's just kind of, it just doesn't seem right, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, you do got to work hard. Hence, that's why like I've stayed there so long and became a leader and a senior at my position. But it's almost like, it's like the Jedi going into the Sith, or like obtaining something where you almost lost yourself in attaining it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Dang, bro.
It's like, have you ever watched Game of Thrones?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's like the main character at the end of the season 8 or the end of the show, she literally like crashed out and like went against her morals and beliefs and like things that she wasn't doing before. She was doing whatever she could to like get to the top. I forgot her name.
I know the dragons and stuff.
Yeah. Like she raised the 3 dragons, and then, you know, at some point she lost her way in order of obtaining that goal.
Right.
So that's kind of like how I felt to a point, and then, you know, multiply that with the burnout, and then like just seeing a lot of people come and go. It's just like almost the things of like, what are you fighting for at that point?
Right.
Yeah.
If you have someone that could just let you go when you're off one bad day, that's a really big thing, you know? And it's like, luckily enough, I didn't, you know, like I said, when I was with Acquired, that was the same thing. I was like, yo, making couples fight over cell phone plans.
Oh, wow.
Like, that's crazy. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's just wild. But then getting to where I am, I don't have to sell you something. Like, if you don't want it, that's fine. If you don't want the apartment, that's fine. Right? I don't have to do that, because there's always going to be other people that is going to want it. Now, if it's a constant objection, now I got to bring that up, right? Because it's like, you know, there's just so many different factors on why people do and don't get it. So yeah, I mean, but at least you don't have to somewhat sacrifice a piece of yourself for you to obtain that goal. And that's something that was very happy about for you, and also for me, is I don't go and be like, you better get this fucking 2-bedroom right now. No, it's like, hey, if you want to get it, that's fine.
Yeah.
But there's always going to be someone else that wants it more than you. That's what that is. And that's always the case. So it's just, I don't have to go and try to do these Andrew Elliott convincing and whatever like that. Like, I don't have to do that, right?
Yeah.
I'm good. You see what I'm saying? Like, if there's not a, you know, how you said it kind of reminded me of like when I got my first car. Like when I actually went to go to get my first car, shout out to Sale because she helped me. And the dude was being very salesy. Like if he doesn't get it, he won't get a meal. You know, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, he won't get a meal that day.
Yeah.
So it just felt predatory. You get what I mean? Like, you could just sense it in the air. Like,
I feel that.
It was such a familiar, it was kind of like the shark from Nemo. When he's like, I'm good, guys, I'm good. He smells like the blood of the fish. It's over.
Yeah.
He hungry now, right?
Yeah.
So that was kind of the same thing. And then I remember in the midst of that, there was a discount they were supposed to give me, but I technically graduated from college. It was like a college discount. But I didn't graduate, like I didn't have my certificate just yet, right? I could show my credits that I graduated, but my diploma didn't come until later on.
Right.
So or my bachelor, whatever. So it didn't come until later on, and he was like, "We're gonna take your car back." That's what he said to me.
What?
I said, I swear to God. I swear to God. He said, "If you don't give that to me, I'm gonna give that car to somebody else."
What?
I said,
but you already drove out the lot.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I was like, I called him back. I said, "What'd you say about taking my car?" I said, "My car, right?" He was like, No, I'm sorry. All right, hung up the phone. He randomly just texted me that. Randomly, just text me that. I should have sued him. I swear to God.
I've never heard that.
But it was like, I told you, like, why do you want it so bad? Like, I'm not trying to scam you. You see what I'm saying? I'm not trying to do that. But overall, and
You want to stop it and then restart?
no, we can wrap it up.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
But yeah, overall, that's just really been us. And then also life, family's been doing great, just really doing whatever. You know, like they're all traveling. I mean, everyone's been doing good. Just trying to really keep my peace as well. That's been the biggest thing, is just really keeping my peace and uploading more content, doing a lot more collaborations, not just having someone as a guest, but being in their world, right? That's something that me and KJ have been doing as well. Merch is coming up too, so we got a store for that. So if you want to buy a shirt, by all means. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
But yeah, we just been really doing us, and we look more into finding what's everyone's quest for meaning, you know? So that's just been our biggest thing.
Yeah.
You got anything else, KJ?
I mean, yeah, just to piggyback off of it, I think that like things are kind of going in the way that both of us will want it to go.
Absolutely.
You know, like obviously when we did this before, we graduated from college and we were still trying to figure things out. And then as we're starting to get more established into like our current roles and, you know, our careers, I think we're starting to like get the hang of it.
Right.
It's almost like that Batman movie where the dude from Twilight, he played in it. He was already like 2-3 years into being the role of Batman, you know, and it wasn't like his prior start to where, you know, he's becoming the Batman. He was already in there established, and yeah, he's still trying to figure things out, but he at least got the hang of it.
Right.
Almost
right.
like a sophomore year. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep. And then, yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it. I did like a quick little video when I was at Carowinds, and I was pretty much like stating the fact that like whenever you want to like go into something different or make a pivot into something that you always wanted to do, I would say just go ahead and do it. You know, you only have one life. You obviously have responsibilities and things that do come into play with that. But this is your life, and in your deathbed, you want to make sure that you don't have any regrets when you like are about to go into, you know, the next life or into heaven, if you do believe in that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, overall, like whatever you're trying to do, just go ahead and do it.
Right.
Because you don't want to regret not doing it or having that feeling of what could have been.
Right.
So that's pretty much what I wanted to leave off on.
Okay, well, shoot, giving out quotes, you see what I'm saying? I respect that quote, though.
Yeah.
I respect it. I respect the advice that you're giving to people, just because, you know, you only got one life, so you might as well take advantage of it the best way you know how.
Yeah.
You know, so. But thank you for listening, guys. Thank you for listening to QFM Podcast. Please subscribe to our YouTube and follow us on Instagram. See you later, guys.
Later. We're out here.